Hello loves, it's Makeup by K1 and today we're going to do the eyeshadow palette tag. I went through all my eyeshadows, got my list, and we're just going to start. We're just going to get right into it. So, first thing is my newest palette, and I actually have two. And sorry if it creaks, it's my chair, I promise. First one is the cremated palette. I already obviously did a tutorial on this, but gorgeous palette. I do think it's worth it. If you like smoky eyes and really cool tone looks, this is perfect for you. And then a palette I just got today, and I just did an eye look, and I actually think it turned out really nice. The Natasha Denona Safari palette. This is my first Natasha Denona palette, but I was like, you know what, I'm just going to splurge, because why not? It looks like this. And it's all matte, and I used the Fata Morgana. Sorry, I can't even point. This one, I used actually these three shades on my eyes today. I really like how it turned out. Let me know what you guys think. I didn't wear lashes today because I just wasn't feeling it, but so far, I really like it. I want to play with it more and see, because I know there was a lot of controversy on that palette. Some people were saying that it wasn't, I didn't perform like the normal Natasha Denona palettes, but hopefully it works out for me, because so far the cool tone looks worked really well. Next is my oldest palette. This is ancient, guys. Yeah, it's the Coastal Scents Warm palette. God, I remember I used to use this every day when I first started makeup. So many shades, so many. And like, I low-key miss this palette. But like, when you try other brands and you like move up in the makeup community, like, you sometimes just don't look back to the old palettes. Like, I'll always love this. I'll always keep it just because for memories, and because it is not a bad palette. Honestly, it really isn't. It's just I found better things now, so I just can't imagine going back to this. So, most affordable are the Coastal Scents eyeshadow singles. I have obviously a Coastal Scents palette, but I made a palette with some of the matte shades and some of the shimmer shades. And honestly, biggest bang for your buck, because they're almost like $1 each, and they perform so well. I highly recommend the Coastal Scents shadows, especially if you're starting out in makeup and you want to, you can like literally pick your colors and then buy one of their empty pans and then just put them in there. And I swear, like, it's like, let me swatch one of the greens. Like, the shimmers are great. I mean, we got the mattes are great. I mean, they might not swatch super well, but I promise you, very worth it for just starting out in the makeup world. I just recommend it. I don't recommend another brand besides e.l.f. for people that are just starting out in makeup. So next is my everyday palette. And this is actually going to be kind of a shock, because it's not really neutral palette. It's the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2. I got this the day it came out. So I guess it wasn't that long ago. But I've been using this literally every day. This is the most beautiful color story. And you got your neutrals, you got your warm tones, you got your cool tones. Like, you pretty much have everything in this palette. And my everyday looks are mostly very colorful. So like, this is perfect. And even if I don't want a colorful look, I can use this palette for like more of a neutral look. So this kind of just works out both ways. So I actually really like Morphe shadows. I know a lot of people don't like them, or don't want to try them because of all the controversy around it. I don't really care. I think the quality's great, so I'm sticking with it. Next is my most colorful palette. So I have two to talk about today. First one is the BH Cosmetics Take Me Back to Brazil palette. This is super colorful, super cute. When I first got it, I actually didn't use it as much as I thought. But if anything, the purples and the blues in this palette are literally insane. I love this palette, actually. I just don't really use it that much. But if I'm doing a colorful look and I need like a certain green or certain blue, I definitely use this palette. But I feel like this next one is the most colorful, which is the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette, because the colors are everywhere. Like, it's literally all over the place, and I love everything about this palette. Every single shade in this palette is great. This is definitely my most colorful. So I definitely recommend both these palettes, but the Jawbreaker is so freaking good, and you can do so much with it. This one's kind of like more of a rainbow scheme. This is just kind of like everywhere scheme, as you can see. Like, it has lights, darks, all of it, shimmers, mattes, all the good stuff. Next is my smallest palette, and it is the Hooked on Vinyl Wet n Wild eyeshadow quad. I hate this. I knew, I'm so picky with eyeshadows, and I knew when I got this it wasn't going to blow me away, but like, it is so patchy. Like, the shimmer is just like crap. The blue is crap. Everything about this palette is just crap. Like, it's just a crappy palette. I don't recommend it. I don't think you can even get it anymore. So why am I even bringing it up? Next is my palette with the best memory. And, well, I would love to talk about the first Naked palette, because that was my first palette. Don't get emotional. That's literally my first palette ever, besides the Coastal Scents. Like, Coastal Scents and the Naked were my first two palettes. I think the Naked came first, and then that one, I know I said that one I think came first, but they were both so close together. I just say they're both my first palettes. So I'm going to talk about another Naked palette because the memory's kind of dumb, but I love how I got this palette. So, came out. I love warm shades. It was blowing up all over the internet, and by the way, the quality on this palette's amazing. So I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my god, the Naked Heat, I have to get it. Called all these stores, didn't have it. Went to the mall. It was gone. Went to the front desk and said, do you happen to have any more in the back? And they were like, nope, we just sold the last one, I'm sorry. As I was leaving Sephora, I literally saw one hiding behind another palette. Like, I don't know how, it's like it was meant to happen. Like, I saw like the corner of it, like just like this much popping out, and I saw it, and I was like, no way. And I opened it, hadn't been touched, nothing. So I bought it, and it's just a funny memory because it was like fate that I got this palette. But if I had to talk about my first memorable palette, like one that just brings me back, definitely the Naked one, but this one just had like a cute little story to go with it. So next is palette that is worth the hype. I know a lot of people don't like Morphe, like I said, but Morphe really isn't a bad brand. I think some of the stuff they've done in the past is kind of sketchy, or like the collabs. I don't know. I don't really know all the tea with them, but pretty much I'm just talking about quality, and the quality of Morphe is there. That's just it. So I forget which one. This is like when they changed their logo. You'll know what it is when you see it. It's their first palette that had like the names printed on it. Oh, let me take it off. The black fell out and got all over my other shadows, so I'm kind of bummed about that. But this palette is beautiful for people that love warm tones. Swatch a few just to like give you an idea of how amazing this palette is. I mean, gorgeous. And it has shade names, and I hate recording videos and they're not being shade names. It's just frustrating as heck. So yeah, I mean, look at that. Look at the pigment on that. It's insane. Morphe shadows, 100% worth the hype. I mean, that's just, again, these are all my personal opinions. It's just what I think. I really do think they just perform really well. I don't think it's my favorite eyeshadow formula, but it's definitely up there with my favorite eyeshadow formula. I have like their old like Fall into Frost palette, their purple palette. Those are okay, but the newer stuff really is good. Before I tell you guys what palette I don't recommend and I don't think is worth the hype, I just want you guys to know I'm sorry, and I'm probably never going to get subscribers just because of that, just me saying this, but I'm just going to say it because I'm being honest. The one that I don't think is worth the hype are the chocolate bar palettes. I just saw Bird Fog, it scared the crap out of me. First of all, it broke on me. Don't ask me how it broke. I don't throw my palettes around, so I don't know how it broke, but, and the shade broke, and this is just a shitty palette. Everybody loved it. It blew up on the internet. I have tried for years to love this palette, and I don't get it. I don't like it. The quality's not there. The shimmers are powdery. The mattes are patchy. Nothing works. I've tried so many different primers. I've tried everything, guys, and I thought it was like a bad batch, but then I got the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon palette. Same deal. Just not worth it. Like, Totally Fetch is like this toned down pink, and like, look how, like, I can't even like really swatch them to prove how bad they are, but nothing about these palettes just, even if it swatches okay, it's just not good. I know people are still gonna love them, people are still gonna buy them. I'm just trying to help you guys out from my point of view. I just got all over my leg. It's just not, they're just not good. They're not good palettes at all. The hype is just, it just doesn't make sense. I've been playing with makeup since like 8th grade, and I have never liked these palettes ever. I've tried so hard. I wanted to. Every time people are hyping up a palette and I get it, most of the time I like it and I think it's worth it. This just wasn't. And I hate it because it's so cute. I like the colors in them, and I just want them to look normal, and they just don't. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get hate, but that's whatever. All right, now let's get more positive now. I have my list. I forgot for a second. My favorite palette from my favorite brand. This was hard. Oh, really quick, let me just point out the gingerbread palette is amazing. So they obviously upped their game. This is worth it. This is 100% worth the money. If you guys want a better palette, skip on the chocolate bar. Just get the gingerbread palette, honestly. Okay, but seriously, I have only one palette from this brand, and I can say with absolute certainty, this is probably my favorite eyeshadow formula. I don't know why I only have one palette from them. In fact, I think I'm gonna go buy one right now because it's insane. I have so my favorite palette, favorite brand is the Masquerade palette by Juvia's Place. I have the mini version. I fucking love this palette. Excuse my language. I love this palette. Like, it's beautiful. It's colorful. I don't know how I haven't hit pan. I use this palette all the time. Like, everything about this palette, from the warm tones to the cool tones, it's beautiful. This is literally the only palette I have from Juvia's Place, and I don't know why, because it's a great palette. So I'm probably gonna look and buy another one, but this is so good, and everything just blends like a dream in this palette, everything. So this has to be my favorite palette for my favorite brand. I think Juvia's Place is my favorite brand. I know I have like 8 Morphe palettes, but if I really think about the quality and everything, I think Juvia's Place. I think Natasha Denona, now that I've used it, is going up on my list too. But so far, like, this is just killing it on my list. Most used, again, Masquerade palette. I use it all the time, literally. Colorful or neutral, I use it all the time. Least used, okay. This is gonna make me sad to talk about because I loved it when I first bought it, and I just stopped using it. I do a lot more cool tone looks now, but I think the hype and everything, again, it's not that it wasn't worth the hype. I think the quality's great. It's just like, after a while I realized I just didn't really care for the palette. I think the chocolate bar goes with the least used, but those are obviously for other reasons. This has nothing to do with the quality. This is just like, I never reach for it. The Modern Renaissance palette. When this came out, I flipped my shit. I was like, this is everything I've ever wanted. To oranges, to the pink tone reds. I mean, everything gorgeous about this palette. The quality is just there. I can't even like show you how good the quality is. Like, you'll never understand how beautiful it is until you have this palette. It's just, I don't reach for it. I think it's just, I have so many other palettes now, and I just feel like, I don't know, I hate saying it because I really love the palette. It's just, I even used it the other day, and I just was like, I don't get excited to use it anymore. It's just not something that like, if you put it in front of me and was like, make a look, I would just look at it and be like, I guess. I don't know. feel like this video was so negative, but I'm sorry. It's not my favorite. It's just not. I don't reach for it. But the quality is great, and if you are 100% sure you will use those kind of shades, get it. I just have other warm tone palettes I love more. I feel like I'm never going to declutter it though, because I feel like I'll use it again one day. I think I'm just in a funk, like, with this palette. I just never haven't reached for it in a while, but it is beautiful. And again, nothing against the formula, just don't reach for it. So that is to conclude my video. I think the main palette I would recommend, I mean, I love all my palettes in different ways, but definitely the Juvia's Place Masquerade is just phenomenal. I hope you guys like this video. I know it was kind of rushed, but I just wanted to really get through it. This was actually kind of a fun video to do because I didn't realize, like, I thought differently for all of these. Like, my most used palette I didn't think was the one, and then, like, this was just a crazy video to do because it was, when I actually, like, laid them all out and looked at them, it was different than anything I would have thought. So yeah, but I hope you guys enjoyed. This was actually really fun to do. I'm glad I did it. And now I probably should declutter some because I feel like, especially those chocolate bar palettes, I really don't know why I have them. I keep thinking I'm going to love them and I just don't, but that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Alright, bye.